So yeah, thank you, Laji. So yeah, last week I mentioned, just to clarify, I'm okay to hold space for this meeting. Are you guys okay with me holding space for this meeting?
Absolutely.
Right on. Yeah, last week there was a little bit of a shift for me where I wasn't. I was like feeling into the group and where was my attention inside of the group and what was possible inside of this team. Uh, and it was, yeah, like I'm noticing like these spaces where I go of like going into like, there is like two sides of it, of big productivity or creativity, where I'm like creating and there's things that are flowing, and it's just like I'm making commitments and I'm fulfilling my commitments, and I'm saying like, yeah, like this is happening. And then there's something that happens, that this is by being my exploring my, yeah, my research this last week or last 2 weeks since we saw each other. And then on the other side is like I crash, like I completely crash, and I'm overwhelmed. There is too much going on. I'm like, I wanna like go to sleep or like avoid people, or I start like binging on like just watching YouTube videos, or not really like having like my full attention and like my focus on. And and yeah, like I was experiencing some of that, and I noticed it when my participation starts kind of like holding back, and I'm not like fully on participating into the space. And I was finding out today, like, where does that switch happen? Like, how do I go to that other side? And I discovered, like, through like the notes that I've been making and the what I've been writing and noticing. And it's like this part when I'm congratulating myself and I'm rewarding myself. It's like, oh, you're a good boy because you did this thing, you wrote an article, or you contacted all these 10 people, you created your profile picture, you made a post, these people gave you good feedback. And then like I feel good about myself, and then I say like, okay, now I can reward myself. And then I go and I start, I say like I start with a coffee, or like a coffee with sugary coffee, and then it goes into something else, and then into something else, and then into like I end up with this pizza, and then this like binging on watching a movie, uh, like, or just like scrolling on these like reels that are like, I love these reels that Facebook is recommending, these reels of like huge waves. It's like these huge waves and people surfing in the waves, and then I get hooked into that. Or a carpentry, like Facebook recommends like some reels of carpentry, and like these people like making like these carpentry things. And then like it's been 2 hours, and then comes the next part, which is like the feeling horrible about it, like feeling like, oh shit, like I had those commitments, or like I had those things I forgot about or something. And then it's like this loading part, self-loading, and like feeling like, fuck, I fucked up, I'm terrible. um, and then I'm like catching up with the stuff that I was supposed to be doing back there. And then when I'm in this space of catching up, I'm like not in the present. I'm not with the present flow of energy that is coming through, the pleasant flow of ideas. I'm just like in the past, catching up with like these old ideas. And that was kind of like my research. And then it goes into this, the ideas start like keep coming in, but I'm in the past like trying to catch up with what I didn't do. And it gets to a point where it's like, oh fuck, it's too much, like I get overwhelmed, it's too much. And then I go into like, this is too much, like this is not sustainable, like I can't do this, like where am I, how come did I commit to this and I didn't do it? So that's been my research this week. And I sent a message last week to you, to the group, to our team, about, yeah, like I wanted to like there was something about my values that felt like it wasn't aligned, and I really don't know what it is yet. Like, it's not something that I went and thought about it. Like, I wanted to explore it with the team, like live. And perhaps we can weave in this into like an experiment or something that we can do together. So it's great to see you guys. And this week I have this sense of like deep connection with this team, and like there is a space for bringing value and for actually like unfolding what is the next step for each one of us, from these big questions that you guys have been putting onto the space. About one is about finding the ideal job, or creating this like team of like how do we work together. And the second one is about money. Like, what about money? Like, how does it work with money? What are the ideas? Like, how, yeah. So like opening up this space for this conversation, or for this territory, to explore this territory together. Mm. So I want to get us started just by checking in with each other, that we have our centers, that we're centered into our bodies, and we're centered into the present moment, here and now. And just to check with yourself that your attention is in your center, in your physical center, and you're embodying your body, and that you have your grounding cord connected to Gaia, to the earth, and that you have your bubble of space, sensing this like beautiful being that is all of you, and this like energy that is emanating from your being, and all of your essence, all of these ideas and geniuses that is like flowing from you, and all these feelings and sensations that are emanating from you. And I want to also create a workspace here for us to work, for do this work and bring ourselves in. And I this space for me is about teamwork, and really what's alive for me here is about teamwork, communication, and this like research, kind of like discovery, research, exploration. We're at the edge of something very big, and at the edge of something that probably has never been done in the human history before. So I think this is what this space is for me. And if there is anything that you want to bring into this space right now, go ahead and speak it out loud.
May I go first?
Go ahead, fine.
Thank you. It's pretty early here, but I've tried to put my thoughts together. Thank you so much, Jorge, to share all these details about your internal journey. And I feel that the centering point, what we have together here, is the gesture of connecting the internal processes with the external processes. So the inside and the outside is actively communicating through us. We are all individually becoming the action itself, the conscious action. So the way you were reflecting back onto your processes, internally and external processes, is the key for me. And I think that it's the key for us as a collective to be able to evolve and grow. So
what is it a key for? I have the question, like, what is it a key to?
the key is the ability to be able to reflect and see how these different fractured spaces connected and communicate with each other in ourselves. And because we are all experiencing this new birth, this new becoming, we shifting perspectives all the time, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes consciously. So
Yes.
So what we can do together here is hold the space to ourselves and to each other. And through my eyes, through my observation, I feel that I can be able to add something to the field that you has individually. And at the same time, the way you are reflecting onto yourself is a huge gift for me to be able to reflect on myself. So it's a relational paradigm shift where the transparency and self-compassion and self-love and the ability to express that openly is going to be able to help us collectively to evolve. And it's not just, I mean, I also would like to use the word to heal and to recover. So the word recover in that sense is something is gonna get covered again, recovered. We recovering some spaces where we individually might feel alone or left behind or feel confused, feel helpless. We together, and that's the power of the conscious community, we together be able to cover that space. And by covering, it's get a warm energy, and warmth is always healing. So I'm so thankful for every word that you just shared, and it's already recovering me, it's already healing me, because I have my own checkouts, I have my own shadowy spaces with uncertainties, and yeah, I have a call, so this is why my video might off, but I'm still here. So thank you.
I wonder, Hajnal, if you could share a bit of your checkoffs, like how does that go for you? If you could share like a little bit of where you're at with that.
Yeah. So the main anxiety source for me right now is how can I be able to keep the flow that I have internally, and at the same time ground myself into into the practicality of the world, which means that I need to be able to put food on the table. I need to be able to pay my son's school fee. I need to be able to, sustain my life and my family's life. I want to be emotionally available for my loved ones and for those people who I care about. But my source of uncertainty and anxiety and the shadowy spaces for me right now is the spaces of the fear, where I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah. You don't know if you can make it. And
Yeah.
that sends you to this place of fear and unknown.
So what I'm trying to do is to slow down as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And find my stillness and peace as much as possible. But how can I be able to do that? Sometimes, I have this imagination about myself, about my processes, that, oh, I know how to meditate because I'm teaching meditation to others. So I need to have a certain discipline about my own self, about my own processes. But I'm not able to do that all the time. I'm checking out. I'm scrolling on Facebook. I'm scrolling on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wasting a lot of time on useless things. So what I'm trying to gently focus on is to see what I'm labeling as useless in my own space. Because sometimes I think I judge myself that, oh, scrolling here or doing this is wasting of time. But actually, there is a physiological process in myself when I'm doing those things. And I'm trying to tune into that spaces, to understand and to feel into that even more. And when I'm in that spaces, I can feel that, yes, my brain, I'm inviting a brain fog consciously
Mm-hmm.
through those things, because I just want to check out. I just want to be able to check out. So what I'm learning about myself right now is, how can I be able to provide certain activities to myself in order to really use wisely those wasted times. So,
Yeah.
for example, I put my body some sort of very strong strong experiences, like going to a walk, a long forest walk, or going to run, or going to a hot tub, or going to the sauna. So putting my body into certain challenges is where I can be able to shift something internally. And in that spaces, I simply tune into my social animal part, my mammal part, my body. This physical substance need some sort of challenge or some sort of experience. It's full of
Mm-hmm.
hunger. This body is full of hunger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're bringing a awesome distinction about the creating. You hinted into it, into creating that menu, that food that really fits your body. and not just the physical body, but like the other bodies, this intensity, this the hunger that it has, and creating the spaces where you can really feed that in a way that nurtures it and like it gets what it's wanted.
Yeah. And I guess the one of the focus point of my research as a human being is how can we be able to go back to the simplicity, to find the simplicity of life, of evolution, individual evolution. I want to be able to really go back to the basics. This is why I live in the forest in an off-grid house. Mm-hmm. This is the fire what I put together this morning before our call. If I don't do the things will not being done. So I purposely put myself into this challenge, that the I, me, needs to do something in order to get somewhere. And I think all of us are in our, so when I talk about these things, I like to speak about, I like to talk about internal continents. And in these internal continents, we have internal weathers and climates. And in my internal continent, which I call, this continent name is the doer, the active, it's more of a male energy, the doer, the energy of the doer, the conqueror.
The conqueror.
Conqueror, yes. Who is ready to act, who is ready to achieve. We all of us has this continent very strongly in our own lives.
Are you talking about us, like
yes,
Elijah
like
and me, or like in general?
Yes, like our group, the four of us.
Okay.
So this this internal continent, the doer, you are not able to always be the doer. You're not able to always ready to act. We are stretching our boundaries continuously, but we need to rest. We need to check out. We need to recover. Mm-hmm. So whenever you experiencing those spaces where you're recognizing yourself scrolling or falling asleep, or not being active, when we are able to remove the judgmental inner voice from that, we can be able to reparent ourselves and get closer to the source of our intentions and to the purpose, actually, what we have. And everything will be becoming more fluid and flowy. And this is what I'm trying to learn and explore. So thank you for bringing up all those things, what you shared, because it's very helpful for all of us to listen to that.
Thank you, Hajnal.
Thank you.
I want to share something and I feel a bit scared about this, and I want to share, but because it's something that I experienced. It's not because this is something that I experienced. Um, I experienced that when I'm talking about myself, like is like there is a clarity when I talk about myself, or Hajnal, when you were talking about we, and this we in a generalizing in a very general way, like like I get lost, like I'm not able to be with you, something like that. Like it's a very general, and when it really lands is when you're sharing about your experience and about your research, that it really lands in the space, like yes, like that's your experience, that's what your research, your edge, and that it has a huge impact. And when you make it might be like you try to make it safe to make it about this big general we, and generalizing our experiences, and it doesn't work for me. Like it doesn't land in my being. These very awesome distinctions that you're bringing, like they don't land in my being. I just wanted to say that. Does that make sense?
But, yes and no. Can we go closer to that?
Mm-hmm. So you said, can we go closer to that? What will be your question? Or what is your question? What was yes and what was no?
Hmm. I I feel that I understand with my brain. I understand the words that you are saying, but some sort of aha experience is missing. So I feel that if you can be able to go deeper into your feelings, that might be helpful for me to really
Yes,
embrace.
yes, yes. So um, it's like you're talking about this in internal continents,
Yeah.
and it's like each one of us has it, like our own unique experience. I have my experience of what it's like to be Jorge, what it's like to be in this body, in this life, and I had those experiences, and each one of us have our own unique experience, which is so unique and is so vast and is so kind of like I have no idea what it's like to be you, and what it's like to be Elijah, what it's like to be Hajnal, or what it's like to be Elijah. I have there is some assumptions that I could make, and some maybe guesses, but at the same time, like you guys are a whole universe, and if I try to generalize that my experience is the same as your experience, and try to like get this like togetherness, and like that I am the same as you, and I assume that my experience is the same as yours, and I use this word says we are doing it, or we're getting it, or um, we are growing, we are healing. It is kind of like going pretty. It doesn't like land in my being fully, because there were some things that were not like I wasn't relating to, or something like that, but there wasn't the space for that clearing of that assumption. So when I find myself talking about the we as like a generalizing of us, I catch myself, and I say like, oh, what assumption am I making, or how is this about me? What is it that I really want to share? What is my experience? And how is this connected with me? And in that way, like I bring that responsibility of my noticing to me, of the what I'm sharing, and then you guys can can kind of in the way that I was sharing at the beginning, it was about my experience, and you guys can borrow from there. My team can borrow from there, or like see their own selves, or create this connection, create a connection through their own experience. Like, oh yeah, like that's happened to me too, but there is no assumption that I know what your experience is like. I have no idea what your experience is like. We get to meet here in this an hour and a half every once a week, and then we really like to me. It's like we're like I'm just getting to know you, and I'm just getting to know who you are and what you are, and all of this. Like it's such an amazing discovery and like exploration. So I don't want to make any assumptions. I don't want also for you to make any assumptions about the others, because it wouldn't, like there is so much to discover about what's actually happening in so much space. How is that? Does that help? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if Elijah would like to say something.
Yes.
I don't feel to take the stage.
Thank you, Hajnal.
Roland, as you were speaking, a story came to mind. And quite a while ago, my computer broke down. And I was living in Vancouver, and I was on a commercial drive, and there's a park down the street. And I found that without the computer, I didn't have much to do. So I walked down to the park every morning. And I met this First Nations elder, Clarence Dennis, who was a gem of a man, lived in the park. And we'd go there and smoke a joint, maybe have some blackberries and have a bit of a chat. And we'd sit there, and I couldn't just kind of sit there. So I ended up cleaning the park, because I found the park was very littered. And in Canada, most parks are pretty clean. And I don't like seeing garbage in parks. And the park isn't that big. So in about 3-4 hours, I could pretty much go through the whole park, take all the garbage, and I would sweep. And my name's Captain Sweep. So I would take my rake, and I would sort of zen out this gravel. And it just became a bit of a ritual that every day I would do this. But I was just amazed that this park was so dirty, and that every day there'd be quite a lot to pick up. But once I found, like, I guess they'd have park cleaners come in maybe twice a week or something like that, right? And so they were trying, if you're looking at a system, and it's the same thing, I think, that we can look at our lives, right? And let's just say all our parks are dirty, and we got to spend a lot of time to clean up the park. Every day we're doing stuff that's cleaning up our park. But if something comes in and adds that energy and takes the park to a new level of cleanliness, then all of a sudden the people don't throw the things on the green anymore, because they put it in the garbage, right? Because it's clean. Like it's a lot harder to throw dirty stuff in a clean park. So over a period of about 3 months, it just seemed the park, I didn't have to clean it as much, because the park had reached a higher level energy state. And then it was always clean. And it was like a huge aha for me to think that now, because it was at a higher energy state, it took so little effort to keep it there. But before, when it was in a very low energy state, it took tons of energy, and it still stayed at the same, right? And I think if we look at our financial lives the same way, that if you're not organized enough, and you don't have the website, you don't have the business cards, you don't have the programs, and you don't have the marketing materials, and you don't have your testimonials, and you don't have 2 or 3 years of everything's working well, you got a dirty park. And so you never get to the higher energy level, because you don't have enough energy You need something coming from the outside to help you to get to the higher energy state. And I think that's what a real team is. Like at some point you're looking and going, okay, each of us is sort of screwed. Each of us needs to make money. And each of us needs to do all these things to clean our park, but we don't have the time because we got all this stuff to do, right? Life is just continuous. There's all this stuff you got to do. But it's almost like when you get a team and all of a sudden they start working at a higher level because they've created the infrastructure, because they've created what every person needs to make the money, right? Then I think there's a different assessment of our time and how we waste it and what we're doing, because I think we're very hard on ourselves if we're at a low financial state, because everything is a waste. You should be doing everything to get to that higher energy state. But as you're saying, we need our rest. We need, we need to chill out. We can't be working all the time. And yet, if you have kids, because that's something you guys have and I don't, there's a much higher responsibility of time towards what you got to do. And so this morning when I was helping Hajnal with her website, and I started looking at her website and I was giving some feedback, and then I just went, fuck, I'm just going to build it. And so I get at Wix and I start popping it out, and I'm making it the way I want to make it. I'm not trying to say do this, do that. I'm just saying, no, I'm going to make it. And it's almost like going to the park and cleaning and going, I just because it seems to me that each of us as a team, if we're looking as a team, that if we had our own website and we have it focused on our work, but then part of it is sort of promoting the other people, or just saying we can do bigger work here. We can do, let's say, a $10,000 project if we bring in the four of us and divide it up, right? And it's sort of like the idea of the shared knowledge community is the same thing in that, the marketing is for everybody. Like everyone's helping everybody, but we have this larger container that's marketing everybody. And so, if you're marketing 144 people, each as an independent expert, and all of a sudden you get a reputation as a very good, consulting company, and Jorge's doing emotional groups and you're doing, let's say, independent, it doesn't matter. Every person's doing what they want to do specifically, and there might be a bit of overlap, but it doesn't really matter. There's a global market out there. There's billions of people that need healing and help, and I just think that the harshness that we assess our behavior is due to circumstances that are just sort of beyond us, right? Of course you're going to feel overwhelmed. Of course you're going to check on out because you're alone, sort of trying to do everything, right? Without probably a lot of support and help.
Yeah.
Is my guess. And so the idea of a Synergy Mastermind to me is that, and I think you were talking about it, of just feeling there's other people there who care about you. There's other people that are working when you're not working. There's other people that are smart and intelligent that are going to help you when you need help in some way, right? So I just want to say that the last 4 or 5 days, I've been focusing on a sort of a unique upgrade of taking the conversation types and the convo killers and assigning an animal, a cartoon animal, to each one. And as soon as I did that, it was like bringing 72 allies in, bringing, like, the team just went from little to a lot. And then every convo type, because if you took each convo type and you assigned, let's say, Hajnal, you're the healing convo type, and let's say, Jorge, you're the remedy combo type, and let's say I'm the feedback combo type. We've now specialized specifically on one convo type that actually is a massive thing, right? Healing's a massive thing. Remedy's a massive thing. You could make a living the rest of your life just focused on that one convo type, right? And so imagine 72 people now, each focused on one, but now they're not just, they're a cartoon character too. They're human, and now there's a cartoon world. And as soon as I put the cartoon characters to the convo types, there's like this, oh, okay, this is how to build it, because you sort of have to show it first. If it's really new, you have to sort of give a story of how these cartoon characters built a shared knowledge community, each of them being a convo type. And then through that story, the people are going to learn about convo types, because convo types essentially pretty boring, right? I mean, you know, I got to admit that most people aren't that interested about it, and they're quite dull. But you bring in an animal, and all of a sudden you've got the story, like what happened.
Well, and yeah, you see if I can interrupt for a moment. When you frame it like that, combo type, maybe it's the title that makes it like not so attractive. Like you, as you're saying, that there is some spark here. Because just before you mentioned that you can make a living out of this, just like one combo type, and I saw it. Yeah, like you can make a whole living out of remedy combo type. And it's like a specialty. Like this is it's like somebody could specialize into a remedy combo type. So it could be a training program where you get trained to get into the become like, what would it be, like a remedy specialist, like I don't know, like something like that, like a facilitator, remedy facilitator, conversation specialist. And then you have like that would be like the specialty that somebody can specialize into. And so maybe it's just the title that makes it like not so appealing, which it says what it is. It's a conversation type. This is a type of conversation, and I just wanted to bring that up. That the animals, they give it like maybe like a nice look, but it in itself, like the conversation type of a remedy. I'm gonna talk about remedy. Is like it's pretty big, and it has a huge potential to go into it, and like something that can like move somebody's heart. Like, yeah, that's me. Like that's what I've been doing my whole life, and I never had this framework of like how I could call this, and now I have these like things that can actually give me like this framework or perspective, and like I get more possibilities about it for how to like deliver this and use this as a tool for helping my clients. So
Very much so.
yeah, so the possibilities to not diminish it, or like I also like don't make like the animals is gonna add this like niceness to it, but it's also like touching what touches the heart about a remedy conversation, about a healing conversation. Who will be using those type of conversations, and what are they thinking? What is their pain? Yeah.
It's funny when we go to 3A, like just missing Nova, and just missing each time we're missing somebody. And then we get to experience it without the person, to see we had one without Jorge. We couldn't have one without Hajnal, but we did have one before.
What would you say to Noah right now? What is it that you want to say? Because he might watch the recording.
Well, just that he's missed that you know there's a sort of a puzzle for the four of us that we're trying to solve, and that each of us has a piece of the puzzle, right? And that I think that, you know, he has an essential piece just like each of us does. And when he's not here, it's felt. And it's sort of it's like playing basketball, you know, with four people. You know, you play the game with five. You need that fifth person. You can't play the game really without kind of like a full team.
I've been thinking, this is something I've been thinking about, because the guy that I'm living with right now, he loves soccer. He's talking about soccer. He makes a lot of reference to soccer. But when I think about it, it's like, because I've been thinking about it, about this, like, and he, like every like analogy that he's bringing is, there is this aspect of competition. Like there is a competition that is happening between two teams. And then there is this like there is a lot of needs that come from it, like, oh, we need to have enough people, or we need to pass the ball, make sure that we pass the ball, and we need to be fast, and we need to make sure that everybody is nourished and everybody knows the rules. And if you're gonna kick that guy, don't let the other people see you, because they're gonna call you and they're gonna give you a yellow card, this kind of stuff. So I think what I've been thinking about is more like about this, like, these are winning and losing games. There is a team that wins and a team that loses, and it really creates this. Well, the purpose of the game is for you to win, that somebody wins and the other people lose. And it creates a state of competition, like unconscious competition. Who are we competing with? Who like, for all of us to be here together playing in a basketball team, for example, like, who are we competing against? Who is the competition? And do I want to play a basketball game, or do I want to, or there is other types of games that are collaborative, where there is not about winning or losing, like playing the fushi ball. I don't know what you call this, the hacky sack or something. I don't know what it's called. And playing I don't know what other, like, frisbee. I guess we could play basketball to throwing the thing on the. So I would love to play with you basketball, just throwing the thing at the net and trying to land the ball in the hole. But anyways,
May I?
Please.
So
you don't have to ask permission.
okay.
This is not school.
I would like to bring in another perspective, because I really value each and everyone's perspectives. And in the big collective level, the shift is happening, and we individually can be able to experience that. It's flowing through us. And for example, when Elijah were talking about how he's missing Nova, and he feels that we are not complete, I would like to invite some other feeling into that space, which is the value of gift, and the value of surrender, and also the value of being, just be. So we earlier talking about the arch, the space where we can individually be able to meet together. And this is the space of the purpose for me. This is the space of the spirit itself, where me, from my ego, I doesn't even need to do anything. I just preparing myself to receive. It's like the universal moral energy.
Wow, I never heard it called it that.
Where I'm bringing in, through my heart space, the ability to listen to others and to listen to myself, and merge these spaces together. And in that space, I can completely feel and understand the truth of each and every one of yours sharing. Although I'm not Elijah and I'm not Jorge, but I can feel into that. I can empathize. I can be compassionate. And I can be able to see from that arch, from that higher space, that we are in different points, spaces of this universe. We are one, yet separate. So it's like the breath, the rhythm of breath. I inhale, I go inwardly, and I exhale, I go outwardly.
Thank you, Hajnal. I think you're introducing this experiment that I wanted to do with you guys that in a really awesome way. This is a perfect introduction for that. When you speak about the arc and seeing from the arc, and and uh, and also with Elijah, with this analogy of the park that you made, it was an awesome story because it reflects exactly what it's like to be in a team, like you said. And this is what we experience in doing in the community of practice of possibility management. It's like there is this first part where the park is dirty, or the park. There is this first part, and we call it like the underworld. Like you gotta go through the underworld first with your team before you can move on to the upper world. Like that, you need to go through those 3 months, those first 3 months of cleaning out every day. Cleaning out, it gets dirty. Cleaning out, it gets dirty. Cleaning out, it gets dirty again. People throw the thing, they forget, they throw that thing, and they're cleaning out and it gets dirty. And it's after that, like what do you call it, like a steward in that space, after like really taking a stand for this space and cleaning it out every time, that it starts building up this platform, and like I think you said it too, like it starts like raising the energy of the space. The energy of the space starts like growing and getting bigger, and then something else starts becoming possible, which is like people noticing that it's clean and they don't throw the garbage anymore, because they don't want to get a place that's dirty that looks beautiful. They don't want to get it dirty because it's going to be really noticed. Like it's going to be noticed. Somebody's going to notice it. So this is this part of where I think that we're still through as a team of exploring our underworld, and really like creating that platform of being in this space from being our own dirtiness or our own strategy of being alone and doing everything alone, and we call it the lone wolf strategy. And yeah, creating that platform for something else to start becoming possible, which is this opening up to the archetypal collaboration, and it doesn't exclude our humanness. Like we're still human, we're still gonna be this dirty park, or we're still gonna have this possibility of being a dirty park, but like now we have like this like capacity of being a archetypal collaboration. Yeah, so
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that up. That was really, I think we can use that could be an analogy for this team that really creates that sense of that we're stewarding this space, that we're taking a stand for this space, and that our unconscious habits, they make it dirty, or like the things that we've been used to doing, the way we've been carrying, or like we make it dirty in one way or another. And Like, do you want the responsibility? Do you want the responsibility to take care of this space and go into this journey of being in this park? Something like that.
Absolutely.
Mm.
For me, it's like, for me, it's the way you were talking about it. I can really feel that we are trying to actively practice the path of meditation, the path of focus. And my research field for more than 25 years is that how can we bring certain tools consciously into the field in order to maintain the stillness and at the same time allow the movement of evolving. And the team has this tremendous resource to support each other in that. So it's an enhanced field. I'm not able to do things by myself. I'm not able to get to certain spaces, evolutionary phases by myself, but I can do that with a conscious team.
Yes.
So it's a very active and very still process at the same time. And learning that flexibility through my body, through my mind and my soul, that's the process itself, and that's the key itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, when you said this word flexibility, you just gave me the sense of transformation, of really having that way of like, where transformation doesn't like completely like explodes you into different, like all different ways, but like it transforms you, and like we're still in this place from that space of transformation, transform as new beings.
Yes.
I wanna take some time I want to do an experiment with you guys while we still have time. And this is connected with when with discovering and giving each other feedback as a team about what is your purpose in life, what is your non-material value in this, what is the value that you got to bring to this world. And the way that it will work in this experiment is that the two people will be giving feedback to one person about, and telling them what do I see that your non-material value is. In the culture of the mainstream culture, most people are like their value is like you're a carpenter or you're a programmer, where you are a doctor, and this is like from the mainstream culture, and this is like a thing that you do, or a thing that you have. But in this in a regenerative culture that is like really about like being, like what you were saying, Hajnal, just being, that there is a value for you just being here, and you being alive is valuable. And there is actually something intrinsically that each one of you has that is unique to you, and it's your value, and it's like what you are. It's not even what you do, it's what you are. So what I propose is that we take 5 minutes per person, and for 3 minutes two people will be giving their feedback about what their non-material value is to one person, and then we for 2 minutes we let it transition, like maybe some noticings. What do you notice? What landed? What didn't land? And then we switch around after 5 minutes, and then we switch around to the next person, and then that will leave us like maybe like 5 to 10 minutes at the end to close up. And do you guys have any questions about that?
Not now, thank you.
This will be like the specialty, like your specialty, like what is your, yeah, what is it, the value that you bring into this world? What is it, the value that I perceive from you? Because as a person, you have perceived the value that each one of you has brought into your life. So use that, and also use your scanner to scan the person. You connect with the person, and you say like your non-material value is, and just let the next thing come true. You already know what this is. And I'll keep timer about this.
Who do you want to start, Jorge? Who do you want to start? Anybody?
Who wants to start? Who wants to go first? Hajnal, will you go first? Elijah and I will give you feedback about your non-material value.
So Elijah will give me feedback.
So it
Is that
will
what?
be, if you go first, like it will be Elijah and me giving you feedback. So
Oh,
Elijah
okay.
will say, and I will say. And
Okay.
I have a question for Elijah. We call this non-material value in possibility management. Is there a word for this in our team, or is there like a different way to say it?
I'm just wondering how different it is from the appreciations we gave a couple weeks ago. Is it the same thing, or?
It's similar in the sense that you scan the person, but it's different because this is something that they are like, it's more specific. It's more like about like what they came here to do. Like it's beyond just your appreciation of them. It's like what they are.
So I'm going first about Hajnal?
I asked Hajnal if she wanted to go first. So in that case, the two of us, Elijah and Jorge, will give feedback to Hajnal.
I'm okay with
about it.
Okay, so why don't you start, Jorge?
Yeah, we will do it in tandem, like
just back and
free. But yeah, like I can say mine, and then you can say yours, and if we can allow for silence too, and just let the scanner bring in the next information. All right. Okay, I just need to drink a bit of water first. Okay, are we all ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, cool. And go. Hajnal, I see your non-material value being a bridge. You are a bridge between the feminine and the masculine. You're a huge bridge between the feminine and the masculine, between these forces of doing and these forces of just being. But yeah, no, all of these things.
Keep going, and then
Yeah.
I'll go when you're finished.
No, you keep scanning. You keep scanning the person, and like keep like you say as he comes. Like don't worry about interrupting or saying like just go and say what you see. There doesn't need to be an order or anything. Just keep sending your feedback.
I just prefer another way. Like you go, because you get on a roll, right? You just, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep scanning because the experiment is that you scan Hajnal, you scan the client. I'm gonna pause the timer for a moment. You scan Hajnal or the client, because this is something that you can practice. I think that, and you say it, bring it into the space. Hajnal, I see your non-material value is da, and we want I want don't interrupt each other, but like it's also like just make space, and then if I hear that you're talking, I'm not going to be talking at the same time, something like that. But that we are both using our scanner to scan her, like so she you stay with her, like her being. What is this being that is on the arc? What is her, what is she, what is Hajnal? And then you tell her. Yeah. All right. Okay, and go. Hajnal, I see your non-material value. Yeah, I see again a breach. I see there's a few breaches, like you're a breach of generations. And I don't know yet what generation it is. Maybe something with the adult, like older people, like and like really young people, like almost in the two, like elder and youth.
You see what is missing. You fill in the gaps that are missing, and you bring in from a higher place to fill the unknown, so people can understand what they're going through.
I see, Hajnal, your non-material value being with the people, being with the person, with your client. Like really like you have this huge capacity of being with somebody that is vast and super, super valuable. Just being with them in beyond verbal reality. You're in experiential reality with them.
You calibrate the field to put the person in touch with their natural pace. People are out of touch with their natural pace, and because you're slowing yourself down to match reality, then you bring them into that field and perhaps have them experience it for first time in a long time.
Yeah, I see that too. You're a sort of tuner. You tune in and bring people back to their essence. You bring people back to their essence. You remind them of their essence and who they are. And you do this with just your being, with not having to do anything in specific.
And you see the difference between their natural state and then what's stopping them through their trauma, their unhealed wounds. You you sense what it is, and then through your methodologies, you can bring it to the surface for them to understand it and let it go.
Amazing. And that's time.
Wow, thank you. So empowering. Thank you so much.
This is an amazing experiment that you can really do with anybody. You can like be walking in the street and start using your scanner to notice people's like non-material value.
Wow.
And it's really awesome. Thank you, Hajnal.
Thank you.
Will you go next, Elia?
Okay.
Okay. Just need a bit more water. Alrighty. And any questions before we go?
No.
Okay. And go. Elijah, you have no material value of being the space, being alive, aliveness, something about aliveness, and you're a bridge to no reason, to just this, like, no reason, like just being.
I can see you, Elijah, as force of nature who is something airy. It can be a gentle breeze, but it can be a forceful power of nature. It can be, it's still wind, but you can be able to use that strong energy which flowing through your bright mind and your spacious warm heart, and you can be able to articulate through your being in the most specific, gentle, and grounded way through the language, with the help of language.
I see one of your non-material value is your love and care for the planet, for the earth. Like that's a huge one. Is your stand that how you're standing next to her, and unequal, on parallel with that is with teamwork. Your non-material value of your love for teamwork, and it's beyond love. It's not just love. It's like this. You are teamwork. You are standing next to her. You are standing next to Gaia, and you're taking a stand for her. And this is your being. This is part of your being. Yeah, I see another one of being your non-material value being this lightness, the lightness of being. The word that's coming is unbearable lightness of being. This yeah, like there's this like lightness in the space that you can bring, and in parallel with this this rock, like a rock. I want to say a bit more about that. Is like that you have the a capacity of being those two, kind of like being one and the other. Your non-material value is shifting identities. You have a big one in shifting identities. Shifting perspective, shifting your point of origin.
I can also sense beside these things that beautiful playfulness and joy that you can be able to manifest through your actions, which has such a beautiful healing power, such a beautiful presence. It's like whenever I connect with that energy, which is you, I constantly got cheered up. I immediately feel hope. I immediately feel trust. I immediately feel.
That's time. We just finish what you're saying, Hajnal.
Yes, I can. Thank you. I can feel that it's possible, and it will become. I can see this. I can see the little boy, the eternal, that blue beam of light. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So now with you?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, go.
I see a persistent learner, that your worth is coming, that you're always learning, and you're not going to be satisfied with whatever is. You're constantly going to be pushing the envelope or the edge to find out the deeper truths in everything, and you take a stand for that. So you sort of force other people around you to do the same thing. And I wouldn't say force in a bad way. I would say force by being a model of it and having people want to step up to being a better person because they see your influence.
I can see the rock solid truthfulness flowing through you, as if it's the universal truth is being able to act through your actions. And it feels like the firmness of a rock, and at the same time it feels like the gentle touch of the water. So you have the capacity to bring these two opposites into our eyesight and heart sight in order to help us to learn and grow. I feel that without you, something really important would miss. So you are like a gatekeeper for me. Thank you.
I see you as like a nucleus for which a community could build around. And having a strength, an inner strength that I think will just continue to grow, but it's even though you may get overwhelmed and you may, let's say, get wet in the rain, it's not going to soak away your passion to create a community. You know, it's like, I think, you know, some of the biggest healers have to go through the hardest times. And that is what strengthens the person. That's what molds the person. And I see you as being someone who, as you get older and older, you're gonna come into contact with more responsibility at higher levels. That right now it may not seem that way, but I think as the world falls apart, you're going to sort of keep growing in your ability to command respect and be seen as a leader.
I can sense the most beautiful, gentle, force of nature. Like I can see the consciousness, the collective consciousness is flowing through you in a way which has a great potential to heal. Just by being authentic and truth to yourself and to the things that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, team. I was able to write down some of those things. And I'm letting them land in my body, in all of my bodies. Thank you for your feedback. And thank you for doing this experiment. Thank you for coming to this call. I appreciate you.
That was a good exercise.
Yes, we have about 2 more minutes left. This is one thing I want to share. There was a comment. There was something that happened this week for me. In a conversation, in a comment on Facebook, somebody that commented on one of my posts, and I think there's been a lot of learning that's been getting from there, from like how I create irresponsibility, how I create irresponsibility in the world, and how I trigger others to kind of like go into that same space. And I think through that interaction that happened this week on that space, like it brought me like a different perspective about this team. and about how I can be more with this team, how I can be more with you guys, and how can like what is like really my value that I got to bring into this space. So I came into this in the last 2 days. That happened in the last 2 days, and it just brought me this like, oh, okay, like this is what I'm here for, and I'm here to continue experimenting, to continue practicing how I can like hold the space for the conversations to happen, hold the space for the the structures that don't serve anymore to collapse and to be there, and hold the space for this archetypal conversation and archetypal possibility of collaborating together. Cool. It's very exciting. Very excited to be here. And I miss that Noah didn't join us today.
He did put a little message in at the end saying he just got home, so.
Okay. Anything else from you guys? I know we're at time now, and I'm okay if anybody has anything else to say.
I would like to value the work that we are doing. I would like to appreciate how dedicated you all, and there is this, I'm realizing that I have this other voice in me who's asking or saying that, like, hey, okay, we have this now, let's monetize this and let's bring this to the world and let's move forward. Hey, let's make a business plan and create a structure and help others to recover and discover and getting empowered by these processes, because everyone's matter. We have the tool to bring this truth into the world. So there is no need to be anxious or left behind or disempowered, because from now everybody can have the right to express and to bring values into the collective space. So thank you.
Cool.
I'm deeply thankful.
Yeah, thank you, Hajnal. Thank you, Elijah.
Thanks, everyone. Great sesh. See you on the
Alrighty.
other side.
See you on the other side, and see you guys next week.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye for
Nova.
now.
Bye, Nova.